The Throttle Freaks GT3 League arrives at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park's International Circuit, a modern beast built for speed, bravery, and absolute precision. For 45 minutes, drivers will wrestle with its long straights, blind crests, and technical switchbacks as the desert wind sweeps across the tarmac. The track rewards commitment and punishes hesitation, and every lap demands total focus. The grid is stacked, the stakes are rising, and the bend is ready to expose who's truly in control. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, and welcome to Racing Nexus for Throttle Freaks. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the production booth today, the one and only Mr. Richard Swindell's yet to be given a nickname, and Rob the Goatee Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, as we take here a look at our grid. Oleg Lovekop's going to take the lead with Sean Provost alongside in second. Stephen McDonald, he won last week, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, no. It was himself, or Jack Hedgecote, my apologies, ladies and gentlemen, who won last week with them in third and fourth, with Felix Feliz in fifth. Jay Staffy takes sixth, with William Fenton in seventh, with Jerome Buffium rounding out the eighth places. Ladies and gentlemen, we are already underway. You can see Oleg Lovkov absolutely trying to accelerate away for the Solpec Precision Racing Black team, and already pandemonium behind, three wide as they make their way around turn one, even more wide further back, ladies and gentlemen. I must have seen 4 or 5 further back there, as we can see Tyler Graff and then many other drivers get into a battle. As I believe that's Jack Hedgecote. Yep, Jack Hedgecote for Going Racing in the 88, having a little bit of an off-track excursion there, but can he do what we've seen him do many times before and make a recovery drive through the field?
That's going to be real tough at the bend here tonight, Zippy. Jack Hedgecote's going off early on turn one, but meanwhile, Oleg Lovkov, we missed him last week. He's out into the lead ahead of Steve McDonald. Two teammates right now having themselves a good little battle. Felix Feliz is following along behind in third. So right now we've got Lovkov, McDonald, Feliz, Fenton, Provo, the top 5.
Oh, absolutely fantastic stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And you can see, looking at the driver classes, there is a little bit of inconsistency as to who is where. People scattered throughout the field, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I believe that's one of the pro-ams there of Felix Feliz. He's currently in third place overall. Absolutely fantastic stuff. With Sean Provost being the next nearest competition, he is about 1.3 seconds back, roughly there, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, and we can see this man is definitely committed to the cause. He is looking a little bit warm, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, Mark Kalin for Waterback Racing, driver of the 52. I imagine he's probably sweating just because he's driving that Mustang, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly anybody who is a bystander in the crowd should certainly be aware the Mustang having a little bit of a killer reputation in its own right. But fair play to the guy. He's working it, he's rocking it, and indeed, he's currently there in P18 rocking that Mustang.
Yeah, and Felix Feliz, like you said, Zippy, he's up to third place, or overall first in class. Getting into the interview room and getting that interview with us looks like it's paying off, and it's inspired him for more.
Well, certainly, if getting an interview for a broadcast makes me faster, I'm going to need to stack them a couple back-to-back here, as we see my fellow Brit, ladies and gentlemen, driver of the 744, the Hypno Minds machine, James Hands, obviously under some kind of hypnotism himself there, taking a little bit of a scenic detour, hopping the Porsche off that curb. But as we return here to the front of the pack, ladies and gentlemen, indeed, Oleg Lovkov and Stephen McDonald certainly pulling away already with a 1.1 second gap.
Yeah, James Hand, unfortunately, jumping to the pits. James Hand, our leader overall in the amateur category in the season. He's first with Nick Bruno behind him. That's going to be detrimental to his championship hopes. But up front, we've got McDonald. Now, McDonald is battling hard with
oh my Gideon!
We got a big incident.
Well, I have a feeling that one of the M class drivers may have been involved in this. I believe it was Jacob I've seen falling through there. Jacob Fickner, I believe. I think he was getting involved in that as Andy Milnes turns to the pits there, and the beautiful paint jobs there of Mad Works will get into a little bit of a kerfuffle as well. We're definitely gonna have to see a replay of that one, but it's fair to say something got really interesting here. Oh my, that looks like Jack Hedgecote there. There's Dave Jensen, goes to make a move on the inside, tags the Ferrari. It looks like Hedgecote goes around the outside, and then one time wasn't enough, ladies and gentlemen. The camel towing machine decides that indeed he wants to get maybe a little bit of moose knuckle there. As you see David Morse in the SRT-E green showboating, trying to bring the car back, but definitely a little bit of an accordion effect here on one of the opening laps of the race.
Yeah, the bend is a difficult track at best, and not exactly what they were hoping for. Jack Hedgecote's fortunate to get by that and not cause more calamity, but everybody's stacking right up. David Morris getting back underway.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit unfortunate, but thankfully the casualties were quite small. Just a couple of feathers were ruffled, but indeed the turkey wasn't plucked, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely a little bit more left on that bird. But indeed, you can see Oleg Lovkov still holding pretty true there with teammate Stephen McDonald. They're about 1.3, 1.4 seconds clear of the field now. Felix Feliz, he's sat pretty comfortably there, about half a second ahead of William Benson, who we're currently watching here in fourth. Sean Provost, though, about another second behind. Starting to spread out a little bit here as we get the opening laps underway.
Yeah, we're on lap 3. Project around 25. We're only 4.5 minutes into this 45-minute race. They are going to have to do a pit stop for fuel. As we watch Jed Hedgecoats trying to make his way back up through the field, going too wide, and there's a big spin in front of Hedgecoats. That looks like might be Andrew Venaro dropping back. Yes, it is Andrew Venaro getting back on course. No damage, so he's just lost some positions, lost a little bit of time, but he's able to get that car underway.
Indeed, his pride may have been hurt as the very colourful paint job there of... I've lost him now. He's gone. Get back here. I remember he's the camel toe towing machine. I remember that, and I believe he's also a plumber, ladies and gentlemen. It's funny the details you can remember. Indeed, there we go. Dave Jensen, ladies and gentlemen, looking pretty cool, calm, and collected. Definitely... I'm jealous of the beard. I can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, looking to try and make a move here on Andrew Venaro. Don't get me wrong, it's an AM versus a Pro-Am, ladies and gentlemen. But so far, what I'm seeing here at the bend is the Ferrari appears to be a little bit light in its toes. Certainly, them rear toes liking to come around a little bit here. A little bit of over-rotation. Definitely going to be good in the later stages of the race. But early on, the cold tyres proved to be a little bit of a challenge here.
Yeah, definitely. As we're taking a look here at Aaron Morgan in the MadWorks car. Look here, Zippy. Pit exit is right on the racing line, so that's going to bring up some interesting racing once everybody cycles through and does their pit stops. That's something to look out for later on.
So what you're saying, Richard, is if you was to come out of the pits, I'd probably smoke you. Okay, I can do that. I don't need a pit exit to do that. I don't need a pit exit to do that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm an equal opportunities incident courser. As we see here, Jerome Baffion looking pretty cool, calm, collected. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit jealous, ladies and gentlemen. My OCD is loving this. He is matched not just the car, ladies and gentlemen, but also his teammate there, rocking some uniform. I gotta say, that just makes me feel good. Certainly, definitely pretty cool myself. I do like to wear a bit of uniform during a broadcast. Don't get me wrong, you can't see it with the camera angle. You don't want to see more of me, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, the Pit Road Productions Budgie Smugglers are definitely not something for a broadcast view. But, or indeed the Racing Nexus ones. My apologies there. But Jack Hedgecoat is currently there, rocking one of the more beautiful paints in the field, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that purely because I'm a sucker for bronze wheels.
Yeah, you're a sucker, all right, Zippy. But meanwhile, up at the front, Steve McDonald's taken over from Oleg Lovkov. So the teammates have swapped positions. Not sure whether that was planned or Steve McDonald just got a good run on Oleg. But right now, those two are pulling away a little bit from Felix Feliz. He's 1.12 seconds behind.
Well, it looks like we're going to get a battle here for the lead as Stephen McDonald has said, thank you very much, Mr. Teammate, but I think I would rather go ahead, as indeed that is exactly what happened, make them pass here into turn one. But the question is, are we going to see Oleg Lovkov be able to fight back? Are we going to see some team tactics here? You know, potentially they could both benefit from a little bit of fuel saving, but if you're going to play the strategic game, now is not the time to do it. I would certainly get a little bit more into the race there. They've got about a second clear on Felix Feliz, who's currently back there in P3, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much unchallenged at the point. The front of the field starting to spread out a little bit there. About a second, even 1.8 seconds in the gap. Aaron Morgan, though, going to be applying a little bit of pressure potentially to the back of the 217 car. Definitely good to see Aaron Morgan back. Indeed, we missed him purely because of that absolutely pop-up Porsche paintwork.
Aaron Morgan, we missed, I believe, last week, but his teammate Tyler Graff is also here, always representing and showing the nice paint as well. Tyler, a little bit different colors. He's a little more of a pastel look for you, Zippy. He's got that hot milk graphic on the side of his car as we watch Tyler Graff going with Jared Keane passing up the inside in the Lamborghini. Jared Keane getting that move done on Tyler Graff. Jared Keane holding him off for now. Very nice move, and just lucky we caught that while looking at paint.
Well, definitely not going to object to that. Or the beautiful soundtrack, the symphony from them 10 cylinders of the Lamborghini, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a good time to watch. If you want to see Lamborghinis, check out DDE, Daily Driven Exotics. Canadian based and in LA as well, and basically daily driven exotics. I gotta say, pretty cool. They didn't sponsor me, they're just cool beans, ladies and gentlemen. They do stuff to cars which we can't even dream of doing, the majority of us. But here you can see the mighty Mustang of Mark Kalin. What a back racing, ladies and gentlemen, and the McLaren just ahead shooting the jets of fire. I gotta be honest, I do love that about McLaren. Indeed, the earlier McLaren GT3 did have a brilliant party piece as well. It definitely would have been good for some marshmallows, albeit they would have been petroleum flavored, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, can Mark Kalin find a little bit of an advantage here? Pete Mahia, I got a feeling I just bollocks that up. He said, did I get that? What was it?
There. We'll give it to you though, Zippy. That was closer than last week.
Close, ladies and gentlemen. It's close, and obviously with my memory of a 50-year-old man, there leaves room for improvement, but I'm trying, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see here, Colin McKenzie, one of the few Acuras in the field, starting to apply a little bit of pressure there to the mighty man that is Mark Kalin.
Yeah, McKenzie been driving the Acura for a couple of seasons now, looking for some good results. Quite often he has some good pace. Let's see if he can get this car underway, sitting in 17th, up 4 positions right now. Looking for a little bit more, but it's going to be tough battling up ahead.
Oh, indeed, and that appears to be a slightly damaged AMG, ladies and gentlemen. Andrew Trickett there, Beano Kart Omania. Yeah, he's definitely missing a few things. Myself, missing a couple of screws, perhaps, maybe a few marbles. But right now, Jack Hedgecote, he's currently fallen back to P20. Well, you have to wonder, is he going to be able to find his way back? He's 16 positions down from the start. Definitely got a little bit of over-rotation there, but are we going to be able to see him make the recovery? We've seen him do it before, ladies and gentlemen, but just how far can he find his way up the grid? As we're checking out here, Dale Peterson, the Canadian driver, ladies and gentlemen, who's currently in 21st.
Yeah, Dale Peterson, 21st place. Right now, Pro-Am driver, 10th place in class. We're going to go here on board with Jack Edgecote. So Jack Edgecote's sitting in 20th, following along behind Andrew Trickett in his damaged car. Jack Edgecote's going up the inside, making that move, getting that move done quite easily. Trickett a little bit handicapped here with the missing front end there.
Certainly, at least he's just handicapped at this track. For Richard, myself, it could be described in many other venues. Certainly on pace, it would be most tracks I've attended, other than Road Atlanta, ladies and gentlemen. And even then, I remember attending Road Atlanta with these guys, and I could not keep up with the last person in the pack. These are that quick, ladies and gentlemen. You want to see some tough GT3 drivers, this would be the place to go. Consider it like the Top Gun level of a GT3, ladies and gentlemen, but there is indeed somebody for everybody to race here. As right now, we're keeping an eye here on Aaron Morgan, who's currently in P7, and indeed he's gained 2 positions overall.
Yeah, 2 positions. That's a decent start. We've still got 33 minutes to go here. We've got picture-in-picture. We're following along on the inset with Colin McKenzie following along behind Mark Kalin and Pete Mahia. Up on the main screen, though, it looks like we've got Aaron Morgan in 7th place, following along behind Jerome Berthune. Both drivers looking to advance with Sean Provo up ahead of them.
Indeed, definitely a little bit 2 screens, a better than 1, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a producer. He probably got 6 or 7 going. Indeed, I envy the man's setup. Don't get me wrong, it would look like the launch codes for a nuclear missile should I get there. And indeed, what an absolutely nuclear broadcast we got here on Racing Nexus, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I can feel myself just glowing being part of it. But right now, we're keeping an eye here on Ryan O'Connor, another Lamborghini driver. Ladies and gentlemen, it's rare that I've ever seen a Lamborghini be such a popular choice, and fair play to these guys. They're making it work. Ryan O'Connor currently there in P11, and indeed trying to challenge here for the top 10.
David Bush III sitting there in 12th place in the customary Lamborghini. He's also got that paint that similar to Dave Benson's that you liked so much, Zippy. Taking a look at Dave Bush III, he's consistent. He's laying pipe as well. Been consistent in that fuchsia colored Lamborghini. I don't know if the Lamborghini company is approving of it, but man, that car looks good.
Certainly, if you want to see anybody who's pretty particular about what you can do to a car that you've bought, certainly Ferrari, I'm sure, would definitely win that award. On principle alone, I wouldn't buy one, not that I can afford a Ferrari. Indeed, Porsche being the everyday supercar, or so I'm told. As we've got a replay geared up here for Mark Kalin, the waterback racing machine here, the number 62. I got a feeling there may be some over-rotation about to occur as we take a slight off-track excursion, but other than that, looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's definitely no over-rotation. As you said, Zippy, I had the opportunity to take a look and drive Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, AMG, all on the same day. And, you know, the McLaren was smooth. It was beautiful. It was awesome. The Ferrari was nice, but you can't beat a Lambo for just going for a nice little cruise. And the sound of the V10 is just awesome. As we take a look at Pete Mejia working his way through the circuit. Pete Mejia up 4 positions, up to 15th place. Mark Kaelin, Colin McKenzie, and behind them, nice little 3-car battle.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for a 3-car battle. Indeed, Pete Mejia currently leading that pack, ladies and gentlemen. You can see here multiple battles happening throughout the field. And if you're unsure what the different colors are on the side of the screen in the timing tower, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to explain them for you. Blue would be the pro drivers, red would be the pro am, and green would be the am class as well. There you go. Thank you, Rob. Perfectly on cue. So if we take a quick look here, you can see there is a couple of different little battles going on. And I'd say the closest one I want to take a look at right now would be the battle for There we go. He's just moving. I say Carsten Quint there. I was going to say, it looks like he's challenging, but that's between P22 and P27. So the timing screen I see now, he's got Evan Jones to contend with.
Yeah, Carsten Quint, he's been a member of Throttle Freaks for quite some time now. Carsten Quint's applying some pressure to Evan Jones. Evan Jones, though, looking to get some pressure on Andrew Venaro. Andrew Venaro having that little issue earlier. So battles all up and down the track. While that's going on, though, Steve McDonald has increased his lead for first place. Steve McDonald, 2.5 seconds over Oleg Lovkov. Take a look at Carsten Quintz going down the main front straightaway. Carsten Quintz having himself a good battle, but he is not going to get the job done right here.
Well, currently you can see here, it's going to be an Aston Martin versus a Mustang. And as much as I've got a soft spot for a Mustang, the Aston Martin is always going to win out myself. Definitely got a soft spot. I'd love to get a... not like a 99, like not that kind of era V8 Vantage, but certainly think early 2000s, like DB9 era James Bond, Aston Martin Vanquish, like early 2000s V8 Vantage, because at one point you could really afford them. But ladies and gentlemen, I think I know why this car's coming up, and don't get me wrong, the battle could be it, but I'm going to go for my own selfish desires here, and I'm going to say it's got to be something to do with that absolutely phenomenal paintwork. We have this and a McLaren in the field in the matching set. I do wonder what their uniform looks like. Certainly some colourful battles going on here, as Drew DeWeese is certainly getting into a battle here. He's driving the Mustang, and indeed trying to apply a bit of pressure there to the Porsche of Nick Bruno.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the Aston. That is my wife's dream car. That same area you're talking about, Zippy, but it's still too rich for our blood. We'll have to go back to this virtual racing if we want to get in it. Taking a look here, Jerome Berthume, 6th place right now. Aaron Morgan in behind him. Sean Provo up ahead. So, Jerome Berthume, thank you very much for giving us that in-car camera.
I tell you what, I could have sworn he wasn't that young last time I seen him, but I may be getting confused. Like he looks like he's lost. It looks like he's lost. He looks like he's lost 15 years. So I'm wondering what camera angle we need for you for that. But certainly, yeah, we might need more than one camera if should that be the case. Certainly, Richard Swindell is definitely one of the more seasoned gentlemen. Don't get me wrong, we love a steak to be seasoned, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, absolutely. And apparently, there's an over/under going on how many times I say ladies and gentlemen, and that is not the first time I've been caught on that, and indeed the last. But at this point, I'm wondering if there's going to be any steak left when it comes to the age of my comrade here in the production booth.
Well, that's a good point you're making there, Zippy, a little bit. Speaking of age, we've got some elder statesmen in the league. Pro-Am, 4th place Kevin Berquist, 5th place Herbert Pineda. So age is just a number. These guys still battling hard. Herbert Pineda, I haven't seen him today. I don't know if he's in the field. Oh, yes, he is. He's in 23rd place. And Kevin Berquist, 4th overall on points. Is Kevin with us here tonight? I haven't noticed yet. Yeah, Kevin Berquist having some earlier issues, unfortunately.
Well, the Ace Motorsports Maverick, he looks like he's currently having a good time, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely jealous of the beard. I can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, I can't drive as well as he can either in that 99 Mercedes. We've taken a look here at the league, and it's fair to say that Stephen McDonald, he took over that league from Oleg Lovkov a couple of laps earlier. And he's pretty much put his foot down, said bye-bye, teammates and all that aside, and opened up a gap of about 2.2 seconds. Now, don't get me wrong, Oleg Lovkov is no slouch behind the wheel of an AMG GT3, but Stephen McDonald is absolutely devouring the course with that car. He's best lap of a 146.643. He's got his teammate beat by about 0.4 of a second. Incredible pace there. Oh dear.
No big surprise. Stephen McDonald has been our points leader all season long, or is our season points leader, so no surprise to see him up front. Speaking of points, let's take a look and see where we're at. We've got in the pro, Steve McDonald's in front with 216 points, 4 points ahead of Jack Edgecokes. Tyler Graff, He's about 12 points back. Then we have Aaron Morgan, Brett Thurman rounding out the top 5 in pro.
As we're looking at the Pro-Am, Jerome Bethune, not only has he lost a couple of years, he's gained a couple of points. He's currently there with 169 points, 30 points clear of Josh Cohen. And indeed, I've got to say, that is incredibly close there. Seb Gauthier, he's there with 138. And then we have a tie for 4th place right now. Kevin Bequist and indeed Herbert Pineda tied for 4th place in Pro-Am. Richard, I believe you got the AM class.
And AM, James Hand, the leader, but having a difficult night. Nick Bruno's in second. Just 8 points back. Then we have Dave Jensen, Jacob Figner, Karsten Quint rounding out the top 5.
Oh, look at that. We've got more, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not used to these sexy new graphics. I gotta say, Rob's here. I think he's just flexing at this point. You know, that's gotta be why I get the invite, just so he can just show how superior his production talents are. And indeed, he is a very talented producer. But looking here at the team points, Madworks appears to be the one of the most talent right now. Not only do they have the pop-up Porsches, but indeed they have a 10-point lead there, but a zippy map on the fly over Soulprep Precision Racing Black. Going Racing there in third with 315 points. Then looking a bit further down, some close battles going on indeed. Looks like the closest one I can see there, Hypno Minds and indeed Ace Motorsport Iceman. That's pretty cool. They're getting there with just 1 point between them.
Yeah, that's going to make for some interesting points battles because the Soulpec Precision Black, they're sitting 1-2, and Going Racing is missing one of their drivers tonight. So there's going to be a little bit of a mix-up here.
Oh, man. I heard one thing, and I know what you tried to say.
No, I said Soulpec. I said Soulpec, honest.
That's not what I heard. And looking at listening to the way that Rob's absolutely crying right now, he's going to need an adult diaper if he carries on. I am feeling he heard the same as I did. But,
yeah. I've never made a mistake, Zippy. Never.
Never? Well, that's not what your wife said, Richard. I'm sure we get a very different answer.
Oh, she was the one who made the mistake marrying me, but that's besides the point. Let's get back to the action here, folks.
Oh, dear. I love the fact, you see, that one he did himself. I didn't even have to crack him up. And indeed, I have got one on the back pocket. I can't decide if I should say it or not, but it's definitely towing the line, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, just as much as Dave Peterson and that paint. But right now, keep an eye here on Aaron Morgan in that pop-up portion. It looks like Jason Park's starting to apply a bit of pressure there. Also in the portion, I've got to say, looking at the field, the AMG strategically appears to be at the front of the grid, but I think that's more in driver class. If I exclude that, it is quite the variety through the grid. Certainly the McLaren appears to be the most struggling here today at the bend, but certainly Ferrari, Mustang, you know, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th, and then the Porsche started coming into play, taking up 7 down to 9.
Yeah, well, it's hard to fault the McLaren. We've only got one of them in the field tonight, so McLaren's doing all right. Pete Mejia representing that very nice McLaren car, but Jack Hedgecock's still on a charge after that early incident. He's down 12 positions, but he's fought back up to 16th, looking for a little bit more with Pete Mejia up ahead of him. We'll hear it follow along with Colin McKenzie following the action up ahead. As diving into the pits is Pete Mejia.
So indeed, a couple of drivers have been down pit road now. I'm pretty sure I saw Ryan O'Connor take to the pits earlier on as well. And don't get me wrong, the undercut, it's a strategic move, but myself, I'd feel a little bit nervous because generally whenever I've done that, it's all of a sudden ended up where I've ended up out of the draft, and it's fair to say that the car has a little bit more of a drinking problem, should that be the case, if it comes out without some traffic. With Jack Hedgecock, he'd fallen all the way back there to P20, ladies and gentlemen. And indeed, he's managed to make his way up to P14, currently down 10 positions from the start. He started in 4th. How far can he recover it? Indeed, as we've seen Frank Pisano for the Ace Motorsports Iceman. He's looking pretty Iceman in the picture, I've got to admit, as he's currently applying pressure there to the gentleman that is Herbert Pineda.
He had 2 teammates back to back. Herbert in 20th, Pisano in 21st. Having themselves a good little inter-team battle.
I definitely enjoy a team battle as much as the next guy, as yep, they are definitely going with the Top Gun theme, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, my old iRacing team, Top Gun Racing. And a little backstory for you, that actually came around there because I just said to my friend Patrick, I will be the goose to your Maverick. And from that point on, he was known as Maverick. And we had a couple of different people. I mean me, I gave them some Top Gun names. We had Hollywood, we had Wolf, I think it was. I can't remember. It's been a while, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, this 35-year-old man is going on 50, and indeed the IQ I wish could get that high. But right now we got a little bit of picture-in-picture going on here as we see. I believe that's Aaron Morgan. I don't know who P Morgan is. I'm not saying that, ladies and gentlemen. Pro Morgan?
That is Aaron Morgan in the pro category, Zippy.
Oh, okay. They're pulling my leg, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got Jerome Berthume, Aaron Morgan in behind him. In behind them is Jason Park. So right now, Jerome Berthume, 6th place, up 2 positions, sitting 3rd in class in the Pro-Am.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a little bit of a battle starting to emerge here. A couple of cars all together. If I'm reading this right, Jerome Berthume, I think he's leading a chain of a couple of cars here. Indeed, you can see here right behind Aaron Morgan applying the pressure. Now, don't get me wrong, these are both great guys here. But I've got to support that pop art Porsche, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, he actually sent me some messages with links to the paint. And it's some hot stuff, I've got to say, as David Morse takes it down pit road.
Yeah, the pit cycle is definitely open. We've only got 20 minutes left, so I'd expect to see everybody coming through sometime in the next 2 or 3 laps. Take a look, see what happened here with Evan Jones coming through the section of track here. This is a very technical track at the bend, Zippy. And the back end just getting a little bit loose, managing to save it and not costing him much in time. Lost a couple of positions, 2-3 positions, but getting back underway.
Well, I've got to say, Evan Jones there having the cool, calm composure of Bridget Jones. Don't get me wrong, he's still got the job done, still got around the corner, but it wasn't quite the approach he was looking for. As we got David Bush the third, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say that I've met the first or the second, but indeed I got a little bit of Lamborghini on Lamborghini action, and I'm trying to think exactly what that animal is on the side of that Lamborghini as well. It's definitely not a Camel, at least if it's one, certainly not one I would want to ride. It looks pretty irritated, to be honest, but certainly despite that, we've got 2 Raging Bulls fighting here for P10 overall.
A lot going on. Brett Thurman, Bad Santa coming into the pits. SRT Black Driver sitting in 15th place. We'll see where everybody cycles out once these pit stops are over, but Colin McKenzie continuing on, as you see, Pacific, right on the pit exit. That is the racing line. So far, there's been no issues, but there's a lot of people still to go through pits.
Well, taking a look. Well, let's have a look here and see what happens to Jack Hedgecock's here on lap 1. Indeed, I want to have a closer look at that paint as well a little bit later here. Let's see what happens to Hedgecock. You see there, he's pretty tightly in that pack, ladies and gentlemen. Goes on the outside, makes his way down right under the braking, and just gets a slightest of touches from one of the SRTE green cars. Let me think here. Who's near the front of the pack? That could have been Sean Provost would be my best guess. And then has a little bit of a rustle tussle there on the way back to the track. So I do have to wonder if he picked up a little bit of damage there as well. Let's take a look here from another point of view here. As you can see, going down to turn 1, things got a little bit busy. That's Dave Jensen in the middle of that. Nick Bruno on the outside, and ends up getting collected by the camel toe, towing himself.
Yeah, going 4 wide into turn 1 on lap 1 is never a good idea, especially when there's cars spawn ahead of you.
Well, don't get me wrong, it is a good idea, just not if you're a driver, just great if you're a broadcaster. And see here, that's who I'm thinking of, ladies and gentlemen. Seb Gauthier, I'm getting himself and Jerome Berthume getting confused there between the 2 drivers. I have a feeling they're teammates, perhaps? No, not quite. Just getting them confused. Maybe it's because they're both Canadian. I do apologize. Indeed, I'm in Canada as well. At least if I can survive after this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly the SRTE Green Machine, he's looking pretty sturdy, Seb. He's a man on a mission, as indeed he brings it down pit road behind his teammate, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, of Jared Keane.
Yeah, it's definitely pit time. Looks like we've had about a third of our drivers through their pit cycle. We got 38 cars been on track tonight, Zippy, so great turnout this late in the season. Throttle Freaks continuing to go on here. On board here with following along with William Fenson, our Australian driver. William Fenson in 4th place, having himself a great race thus far. 3rd overall in class, fourth in the entire race. William Fenson, great pace once again this week.
Well, I am told here by 84 crew in the chat that ball-looking skeleton thing is a chupacabra, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say I've ever eaten one of those, but I got a feeling it's going to be well barbecued is the vibe that I'm getting. I believe Gandalf may have met one at one point in Lord of the Rings as well, but don't hold me to that. I can't say I was there for that particular moment. But meanwhile here, let's check in with another one of the Canadian drivers, ladies and gentlemen. It's Jason Park. He's currently there in P8 currently, up 3 positions on the day and applying a bit of pressure here to the back of Jerome Berthiaume, who's currently rocking. I love the fact his uniform matches the car. That just makes me feel happy. As Richard Swindells has muted himself, and I've just realised that, ladies and gentlemen, the old man indeed, he's probably going to take some medication, in which case he's going to need an extra dose working with me here in the booth. If not, he's going to need a little bit of help with Rob Campbell behind the production controls. But indeed, Jason Park here currently applying a good bit of pressure. He's about 6-7 tenths per second back. Further forward, though, that Ferrari of Jerome Berthiaume, he's getting ever closer there to the back of Aaron Morgan as he makes a couple of drivers making their way down pit road, including this man. It's Felix Feliz there in that beautiful Ford Mustang, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see him toppling through the order. I gotta say, that looks like a nightclub pick as well, looking cool, calm, and collected indeed, as I believe Richard Swindells has just hiccuped to announce his return.
Yeah, Felix Feliz having such a fabulous race, and yes, I'm back. I'm back for the last half of this race, or last third of this race. Like 15 and a half minutes left to go, Zippy. We're on lap 17 of about 25. So far, it's been a pretty straightforward effort, but Jerome Berthiaume continuing on. Jerome Berthiaume not having had his pit stop yet. A number of drivers, none of the top 12 haven't come in yet.
Well, indeed, now we have the mighty return of Richard Swindells. Look at the clock, ladies and gentlemen, 15 minutes to go. I have a feeling that that medication stop was indeed planned, as long as it was himself or maybe his wife that indeed applied the medication.
I need to put up with you for a night, Zippy. It's unbelievable. And
I made that joke.
Water one can drink at a time.
I made that joke. If you'd have heard, you would have heard it. Sadly, right now.
I heard it.
Frank Pisano there. He's getting into a battle, and you can see that is Herbert Pineda just ahead. Indeed, it's going to be AMG versus Lamborghini. It's, oops, oh dear, never mind. Herbert Pineda takes the grass, ladies and gentlemen. I guess he just did not want to tangle with that Lamborghini, and fair play to him. You know, it is a pretty intimidating looking car, but I don't think I would have dived out the way for it. Further back in the field, actually, we've got Jarrett Keane here for the SRTE Black team. He's currently getting into a bit of a battle. As I got to say, there's a little bit of a theme going here. Black, green, and white appears to be the consensus between himself, Brett Furman, and indeed Seb Gauthier.
Yeah, while that's going on, I think we're at the end of our pit window because the leaders, McDonald, Lovecoff, Fenton, and Morgan, all in the pits. So comes Jerome Berthiaume, Tyler Graff, Dave Bush III. So it looks like everybody who hasn't pitted yet is coming in now.
Well, I've got to say, Mark Kalin, I'm hoping he gets down pit road pretty soon. This man looks like he is working hard. And don't get me wrong, this is one of the funny things about the sim racing gear, especially. Like, everybody's like, oh yeah, get the direct drive, crank it up. Well, having gone from like a Fanatec CSL Elite 1.1, it wasn't really nothing special. I got it used years ago, and honestly, going from that to a direct drive like a VRS, you've got the same one, I think, Richard. I actually missed my Fanatec because it was a lot more approachable. I could just get in and drive it in like Spa 24. If I drove 9 hours, I was fine. The DD, after driving that, hang on, hold your horses, ease your weapon, sir. The DD, after driving that for about 15 minutes, I feel like I've just had an arm wrestle with Arnie, and indeed, I'm terminated.
Well, you know, the twigs are a little skinny, Zippy, and you can dial it back a little bit. I'll just say that. So, David Bush III, we're taking a look on. David Bush, everybody done their pit stops now. Every single driver has come in to the pit. So right now we're back on board. We've got Steve McDonald, Oleg Lovkov, Felix Feliz, William Fenton, and Sean Provo rounding out the top 5. There's our leader, Steve McDonald, in the black AMG.
Yeah, I gotta say, he's looking pretty good, and even through the pit cycle, he's managed to pull away 5 seconds over teammate Oleg Lovkov. Felix Feliz, 5 seconds back as well. It looks like William Fenton's been able to get a little bit closer, though, in that Ferrari. I have to see how these two guys tangle a little bit later on, but the Australian driver, it's probably going to be about 10:30 in the morning where he is, courtesy of my usual comrade, Mr. Reese Gardner. Fair play to him. He'd be loving this, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an Australian track. That is pretty much... You want to see an Australian happy? Put them on an Australian track. That's pretty much the sound of surprise that there is indeed that event occurring is enough, and then the enthusiasm that goes with it is quite entertaining in its own right. But right now, Felix Feliz has managed to pull away about another 2 tenths of a second over William Fenton there, as indeed it looks like we've got a couple of battles starting to emerge a little bit further back. Sean Provost in the Mustang is going to be under attack from 2 Porsches very shortly if he doesn't put his foot down a little bit harder.
Well, that's always the goal. You've got to go a little bit faster than the guy behind you. Aaron Morgan, Jason Park, Jerome Berthiaume, all in a line right now behind Sean Provost. So Sean Provost doing everything he can to keep all these drivers at bay.
Yeah, he's definitely going to have to work quite hard indeed. The two Porsches, we're expecting them to be quite potent on the break here. As Cabana, we got a little bit of a side-by-side, side-by-side window-in-window action going, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see that? Well, I'm going to say it's a Hot Wheels liveried car there with an AMG in the middle. I do have to wonder if these two Ferraris can work together and not only hold that AMG off, but potentially find themselves ahead there of Pisano as well.
Yeah, Ian Cabana, teammate of Kevin Bergquist, always having that traditional, their traditional livery, doing a good job thus far. Ian Cabana sitting in 23rd spot, second in class, so he's second, and that's a good effort.
Well, you can see here the Madworks machine, the pop-up Porsche, number 48 here, going side by side, trying to apply a bit of pressure there to Sean Provost, almost touching, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the real estate is pretty much ready to go on the market at this point, and I have a feeling that Provost is looking for a bit of a wider plot there, as he does indeed manage to hold on. But look at that, this is backfired here on Aaron Morgan. He's now going to be under attack here from Jason Park, and you see there in the background, the younger gentleman that is Jerome Barfume can see an opportunity as well. We're going to have a 4-5-way fight here, as it looks like Aaron Morgan trying to put it down on the inside of the Mustang, going up through the right-hander.
Yeah, Jerome Berthume getting a great view of this action and sitting in a pretty good spot. These drivers getting really racy with only 10 minutes left to go.
Whoops.
Slipping up the inside. Wow. There's a little bit of a slide job, Zippy.
Well, I've got to say that move from Jason Park, that was so slick, I'd call it pomade, ladies and gentlemen. Just make his way, buy one, get one free. Let's have a look here at that again. I honestly feel he was just showing off at this point, and indeed there is going to be a riot there from the Porsche as well. Aaron Morgan goes a little bit deep there, goes a little bit deep to Sean Provost as well, and not only that, Jerome Barfume goes and gets in on the action as well. That was definitely a very colourful turn of events here, as Jason Park looking to break the draft here, and indeed we got more cars coming into the mix. It's another pop-up Porsche, this time of Tyler Graf in the 771.
Yeah, that little overshooting of the corner by Provo earlier allowed a couple more drivers get into this mix. So what was a 4-car battle and 4-car train, now looks like we got about 6 cars involved here. Great racing, 9.5 minutes left to go. We were only got about 5 or 6 more laps.
I got to admit, the time is absolutely flying here today at the Bend. Indeed, we could questionably be considered at the Bend, ladies and gentlemen, in our own right there. But you have to wonder as well, Jack Hedgecote, he started there in P4. He's currently showing as down 7 positions now. The good thing for him is he has got an accordion of cars ahead of him. I'm counting 3 certainly in the immediate vicinity. Indeed, 4, potentially 5 positions he could indeed recover and find his way up a little bit further, potentially returning himself to P4, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, a little bit of zippy math that probably didn't quite go to plan. Maybe P6. We'll find out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see what we can do here. Seb Gauthier and Mark Kalin highlighting for a second as well. But oh my gosh, Jack Hedgecote there looking to apply a little bit more pressure. Meanwhile, Seb Gauthier himself, and I believe that is a teammate ahead of Brett Furman, trying to hold off the mighty man that is Mr. Mark Kalin in the number 62.
Yeah, and doing a good job thus far. Mark Kalin, of course, another one of our in-car cameras with the interesting backdrop, Zippy. That's something you don't see every day on most of our in-car cams. Thank you very much, Mark, for allowing us to see your house.
Well, I'm just trying to work out what's... give me that back a minute. I'm looking to see what he's got on the shelves. It looks interesting. Potentially some Star Wars. I'm not too sure. Richard, you're more into that kind of thing than me. Does that look like Star Wars to you on those shelves?
No, I'm not into that. I'm into racing,
Rob?
Zippy. I'm into
Rob,
racing.
you a Star Wars guy? Well, Rob's saying it looks like plans. I don't know if you would have heard him on the broadcast. Indeed, myself, I'm notoriously bad for forgetting to unmute myself as a producer, for which you should all be grateful indeed. But people actually call me out for it, for which I'm grateful and also surprised, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, this things are starting to get even more dicey as Jack Hedgecote has managed to make his way past David Busch, the third, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give him his full title. And Tyler Graf currently in the crosshairs of that Ferrari. It's going to be the pop-art Porsche versus the beautiful bronze wheels of the Go-In Racing Ferrari there. It's almost touching now. And David Busch applying some pressure as well. I think that's all Tyler Graf can hope for right now. If David Busch III can keep Jack Hedgecote busy, he may be able to hold on to that P9.
Yeah, Tyler Graf has been a long-time member of Throttle Freaks, doing a good job of holding up Jack Hedgecote. But Jack Hedgecote driving angry, Zippy, after that early incident on turn 1, lap 1, and making a great charge as we get towards the end of this race.
Well, I do have Jay Evans 14 in the chat saying that Mark is a very big Lego Star Wars guy, so I'm taking the win for that, and I'm going to give him some extra respect because Lego is absolutely friggin' awesome. You know what's concerning now? When I was a kid, Lego was Lego, but now people are like buying this to resell it and stuff, and now kids can't enjoy it because the sets are worth too much. Like, what happened there, ladies and gentlemen? And indeed, that's exactly how Tyler Graff's going to feel as what happened there. Jack Hedgecoe's absolutely able to sneak on by, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like the Porsche is fighting back. They're going side by side down into the braking zone, and indeed David Bush III, he's going to be our dedicated camera car for this. I have a feeling we could see free wide here. Put the pedal to the metal, give it a bit of pressure as there's a tiny little bit of a gap there, an opportunity. Are we going to see a Ferrari yet again try and make it around the outside as Hedgecoe is on the inside, and indeed David Bush lifts off with that Cooper Char brake, whatever it was. Oh my gosh, Stupid Cabaret? It sounds like a mythical creature, ladies and gentlemen. For me, my girlfriend is fascinating enough. Try figuring that one out. But right now, that mystical creature on the side of that Lamborghini is currently applying pressure, and it certainly looks like Jack Hedgecoe has not been able to get the slingshot pass he was looking for. Definitely getting hard up with these. There's a little bit of a wiggle there from the Lamborghini. Indeed, Ryan O'Connor lurking in the background as well. Are we going to see a four-way fight here for P9?
And Jack Hedgecoe's kind of getting a little aggressive there. A little bit of bumping and grinding as they're going through that corner. Tyler Graff, I don't think is going to be too thrilled with that move.
Well, certainly it is a remix to Ignition, ladies and gentlemen, and if there should be an incident, we have to wonder if somebody will believe they can fly. But Hedgecoe has managed to make his way ahead of the pack now, but I have to wonder, look at that free car train right behind him. Tyler Graff, I have a feeling that your wing mirror is going to be pretty busy right now as we got the razzle-dazzle. Rob has pretty much just got, I'm not saying that, but he's a happy man. Let's go with that. It certainly is his signature commentary line, ladies and gentlemen, as Tyler Graff there is indeed been greeted with the razzle-dazzle, but you have to wonder, did the Lamborghini have tassels as well?
Yeah, Ryan O'Connor doing a great move, getting by Dave Bush III. Tyler Graff holding him off for now. And speaking of Legos, Zippy, one of my old teammates in the team I used to race with, they actually left and stopped racing with us because he went to work for Lego. Just a little sidebar fact. So Lego is pretty awesome. He had to move over to Europe.
I gotta be honest, that is absolutely awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen it, that's another one for the counter, by the way. I don't know what the counter is. We need to get one at some point. We need to get a counter for how many times I say ladies and gentlemen. I did actually have one person where his parents would watch, and they made it a drinking game. So certainly I do apologize for the alcoholism that happened in that household as a courtesy of my commentary. Yeah, you don't need 4 Drink Fridays. Just watch me commentate, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, you're going to be more sauce than the driver as well. But right now, Sean Provost currently getting a little bit of attack here from Aaron Morgan in the Pop Art Porsche. And Jason Park has not been able to run away with it, but don't be discounted, ladies and gentlemen. Jerome Berfume currently getting a little bit closer as well in that Lamborghini. That is a Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen. The Italian stallion of a car, the 217.
Yeah, Jerome Berthune, but the leader still, he's led since he got by his teammate early on, Steve McDonald. Steve McDonald having himself a great race, up 8 seconds on second place. Oleg Lovkov, 4.5 seconds over third place, Felix Feliz. First 2 drivers pros, Felix Feliz, our top pro-am, William Fenson, another pro in 4th place right now.
Well, I gotta say, I'm reading the chat right now. We've got CL Berg 58. I use Braille Lego with kids. That sounds absolutely fascinating, and like I'm all for it. Sounds really good. The only way I could fully understand that, though, my version of Braille with Lego would be as a kid forgetting to put it away and then standing on it, and certainly I'm sure my parents experienced that. I don't think that's what they mean, but by all means tell us a little bit more in the chat, because that Lego is an absolutely fantastic thing for adults, kids, and not only that, if you've been able to incorporate Braille into that as well, I'm curious to hear how you did it. That is really good. Certainly, you know, being blind would definitely be a challenge. I'm thinking my girlfriend definitely, she can't see very well. She's going out with me, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, let's focus back here.
You said it so I didn't have to.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Rob is going to need a Kleenex now. He is now crying, coughing, and indeed spluttering. All the noises, and certainly not in an enjoyable fashion, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, Aaron Morgan, he's currently there in P7, and he's dropped back a little bit to the back of Sean Provost. Currently the battle there for P6.
Yeah, that's been a decent race for these drivers. Colin McKenzie sitting in 16th right now, 6th in class. He's had 5 positions on the day, so having himself a solid effort tonight. Nice to see some results. Mark Kalin just up ahead of him, and then we have the 2 teammates, Brett Thurman and Seb Goche. Nice little train here, Zippy. Just 1 minute and 47 seconds left. We're lap 24. We've got one more after this one, I believe.
Well, certainly if Mark Kalin wasn't sweating before, he's going to be sweating now. He's got the Acura right behind him of Colin McKenzie. Indeed, it is a battle for class as well, ladies and gentlemen. Doing a quick bit of zippy map here. 4, 5. That is a battle for P7, I believe here. Seb Gauthier currently 7th in class. Don't quote me on that, though. Zippy math not always the best, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it's questionable on a good day, but right here you can see the race leader, Stephen McDonald. He's pretty much ran away with it. His best time, a 1:46.560. His last lap definitely a little bit slower, ladies and gentlemen. About half a second slower, but still one of the quicker lap times in the field. And you can see without a doubt why indeed he is 8,059 iRating. He is incredibly potent behind the wheel, and not just that, it's the GT3 machine, probably one of the most competitive classes on the iRacing service.
Oh, that is for sure, Zippy. We watch these drivers come around, take their final pass by the start-finish line before they get that checker. Right now, we've got Sean Provo trying to get and catch Jason Park. Right now, these two are battling for 2nd place in class. Jason Park right now, 5th overall, 2nd in class. Sean Provo behind, 6th overall, 3rd in class.
Well, I'm actually being told here that LEGO makes Braille squares that have the Braille letter dots for letters. It's perfect because Braille is comprised of a combo of 6 dots. I never knew that. So indeed, maybe I can learn some Braille, ladies and gentlemen. It was all in the fingers, I'd say. And indeed, I'd love to be able to communicate more people. And indeed, if people have ever wondered as well, a reason to learn other languages is certainly in my single days. I hate to bring this up, but it means I could have got rejected by more people, ladies and gentlemen. So why just stick to just English? You can be rejected in Spanish, French, and German. Pick a language, ladies and gentlemen, Polish, whichever. As right now, we get back to the race leader, Stephen McDonald. He's currently there in the 65, opened up almost 10 seconds here on Oleg Lovkov, and I gotta say, that's quite the achievement. I mean, Oleg Lovkov, no slouch either. He's 7,011 IR. I'm not sure what percentile he'd be, but it's pretty up there, ladies and gentlemen, as Stephen McDonald is bringing it there to the checkered flag. And just for you, Rob, he's giving it the razzle-dazzle. He's waving to the fans, or indeed, he's flipping off Richard Swindowers. At least, certainly, that's what I would be doing, having won a race.
You probably would be quite. I can't remember the last time I saw you win a race where I was involved, Zippy. We're going to go on board here.
Whoa.
All along with the next group of cars, we got Jason Park. Jason Park doing a good job holding off Sean Provo, Aaron Morgan, Jerome Berthume, and then we're going to have Jack Hedgecote coming in 9th. So everybody kind of finishing where they were the last couple of laps.
Yeah, definitely a couple of people who made a few hard charges through the field. Actually, let's give this man a shout out. Frank Pisano, I would say, looking at this, he would be the hard charger, ladies and gentlemen. He's currently up 9 spots in the highest place as a result. We've got Ace Motorsports Iceman, and ironically, Ace Motorsports Maverick is in P22 as well. That is absolutely fantastic indeed. The 2 Top Gun themed cars coming back to back there in P21 and 22. And a little bit there behind him, Riley Racing's Andrew Venaro bringing it across in the Porsche.
Yeah, that was,
he's in a Ferrari, my bad.
Well, you know, it's okay, Zippy. Here's your favorite paint job, though.
Atta boy.
Along here with Evan Jones in the team. Whoa, Evan Jones using all of the track, then all of the dirt. But his race is done here.
Well, indeed, I have to wonder if the Bridget Jones liveried vehicle indeed saw Hugh Grant, or indeed Colin Firth, ladies and gentlemen, taking a little bit of a detour there. As I do have to wonder, did the Audi just snake him at the end? No, not quite. He did get away with it there, but certainly a little bit of an off-track excursion is not what he had in mind. Christopher Rhines, though, looking cool, calm, and collected for SRTE White. He brings it over the line in P30 for the 111 machine. One of the few BMWs in the grid as well, actually. Quite surprising. The BMW, quite a balanced machine in the GT3 field.
Yeah, it's well, Zippy, what'd you think? Race at the Bend.
I actually really enjoyed it. I have no concept of the Bend layout by any means. It's not a track that's on the Princess approved track list, but It was a lot of fun, and indeed we saw some great battles. Certainly the pop-up Porsches definitely made for some interesting action indeed. As let's take a look here at the results. Stephen McDonald, he took the win with about 9.2 seconds clear over teammate Oleg Lovkov. Felix Feliz, absolute dominating round for him today. Not only that, for the Pro-Am class, he was in third with William Fenton in fourth. Jason Park took fifth and indeed second in Pro-Am with Sean Provost in P6 overall and indeed third in Pro-Am. Aaron Morgan in that pop art Madworks Porsche, he took seventh with Jerome Berfume. The liveried matched t-shirt and indeed paint job there. He was in eighth with Jack Hedgecoach recovering to ninth, and Tyler Graff rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, 11th place, Ryan O'Connor with a late move in the Lamborghini on David Bush, third, who was 12th. Brett Thurman, Bad Santa in 13th. Seb Goche, 14th. And we had Mark Kalin in 15th. Colin McKenzie, 16th. Pete Mejia, solid effort in 17th. And Jacob Figner finishing 18th place and first in amateur.
As we have a look there at P19, that's going to be taken by Dale Peterson. Didn't really see too much of him today with Andrew Trickett in 20th. Frank Pisano takes 21st with Herbert Pineda in 22nd. Andrew Vanara in the Ferrari, ladies and gentlemen, in 23rd. Ian Cabana, he took 24th with Nick Bruno in 25th. David Morse in 26th with Carsten Quinn in 27th. And Evan Jones in 28th.
But that's not all. We've got more. We got Barry Cochran finishing in 29th, Christopher Rhines, the last of our drivers on the lead lap. Then we had Drew DeWeese, 31st, one lap down. Jay Steffi, one lap down in 32nd. James Hand, once again, early issues. Kevin Bergquist, a couple laps down. Andy Mills, Jared Keane, Dave Jensen. Matt Taylor did not start.
Yeah, 22 laps run today, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like there's Todd Torville as well lurking at the bottom. I didn't see him out on track, but he was right. He was representing Ace Motorsports Iceman, ladies and gentlemen. But indeed, it looks like we got a driver here ready for an interview. And it's going to be the one and only Mr. Felix Feliz, who currently came in P3, ladies and gentlemen. Not only that, getting the Pro-Am win. Felix, I've got to say, the Bend, not one of the more common tracks here used in iRacing. Indeed, one of the newer venues as well. But despite the fact you Pro-Am class, you really stuck it to a few guys today with that P3 overall.
Yeah, it really did give it a try. It's a fun track, man. My first time racing on the circuit. Had a blast. You know, had an opportunity to get some laps in during the week. So yeah.
Well, certainly, indeed, it made for a challenging venue, but for yourself, it had quite a quiet race for the most part. Were you trying to save fuel or anything? Was that a strategy in mind, or did you just kind of want to push the car as hard as you can and just, you know, hope for the best? Tell us a little bit about your strategy.
So my strategy, literally, it was just hold on for my dear life, right? Just push as hard as possible, forget about fuel, and try to build a gap to P4. I think William was behind me. He made it really difficult. He kept me honest, to be honest. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely understand. Indeed, one way to beat the driver ahead of you is indeed to apply pressure, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, you handled it with outstanding talent and indeed outstanding skill. I'm not sure where we're heading to next week. That's a subtle hint for. Oh, there we go. Attaboy. Rob's just whispered in my ear softly, sweetly, discreetly, ladies and gentlemen, that we're going to Monza combined. Felix, how do you feel about that particular venue? Certainly Monza at turn 1. I'm assuming that's got the same turn 1 shenanigans there, that chicane. How are you going to feel about that? Because my general experience is all of a sudden iRacing becomes a bowling alley of many colors, many cars, and indeed much carnage.
You know, these guys are pretty respectful for the most part. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Fun fact, at the regular Monza track, it was actually, that's where I had my first win. So I'm actually looking forward to it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Felix Feliz is obviously going to try and repeat that, ladies and gentlemen, for which we are going to wish him the very best of luck. But Felix, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to shout out in particular?
Yeah, definitely my SG teammates, Buck and Waldo. Hopefully they'll be back next season. And of course, a shout out to my beautiful wife. She allows me to race on Tuesday night. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, that is a smart man. In some ways, he thanks his wife and then phrases it as she allows him to race. So certainly, if he comes back looking a little bit worse for wear, ladies and gentlemen, we have to wonder, and, it's okay, Felix. You can talk to us. Indeed, it's going to be okay. This is a safe space here, unless he watches the broadcast, in which case, rest in peace, my friend. Rest in peace. But fair play. At least you'll go down with a smile on your face. It's indeed a P3 overall in this strength of field. I got to take my hat off to you. I'm going to put one on to take off for you. But indeed, fantastic result here at the Bend.
Thank you, guys. See you guys next week.
See you, Felix. Well, I do understand here that my comrade has been able to catch up here with Jacob Fichtner.
Hey, congratulations, Jacob. First in the amateur division tonight. Great racing. Didn't get it, Jacob.
Oh, apologies. I had pushed the talks on. Thank you, gentlemen.
That's okay. I do the same thing, Jacob, and I've been known to have that happen to me in interviews as well. I don't get them as often, though, unfortunately. That should certainly help you out your points efforts for the season, with James Hand not having the best race and neither finishing ahead of all the other guys ahead of you. How'd that go for you tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. Not the cleanest race. Got hit turn 2, and then I have to apologize to Andrew Trickett because I wouldn't call it the safest rejoin, and we touched. But yeah, aside from that, after turn 2, it just kept my head down and put the laps in, and so yeah, finished 18th and was surprised to take the AM, but I'll take it.
Yeah, down a few positions before you qualify, but considering what happened on turn 2 early on, a solid effort. We're going next week to Monza Combined, which should be interesting. Have you done any racing there before?
Yeah, no, never tackled Combined before, so interested to see what this oval's about.
I've never done it myself either, so I'm interested to call the race. Hopefully you have some more success and continue to move up, charge up the way in amateur. Anybody like to give a thanks or shout out to tonight, Jacob?
Yeah, to the wife and family and the SRT boys. Appreciate them both. And to you guys for putting on a wonderful broadcast.
Well, you haven't seen tonight's show yet, though, but we're just kidding you. Thank you very much, and congratulations once again. Hope to see some more good results from you next week.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely always good to catch up with some of the drivers here. And I gotta be honest, Stephen McDonald, we didn't actually get to speak to, ladies and gentlemen. He comes in, he wins, he dominates, and he leaves, I guess. Fair play to the guy.
It's been the same way all season long, Zippy. I don't even know if the man exists. I think it's just a bot driving around.
Yeah, indeed, he is. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, he could be the Stig. It's not the. I can't remember the guy's name now. I've watched him on YouTube. What's the dude's name? He just Ben Collins. That's right, and he just bought a Jaguar XJ220, which for me is fantastic. But he turned down the British Racing Green one, which makes me question all of his life choices. No, he should have got the British Racing Green. Absolute nut job. But indeed, ladies and gentlemen,
never take your fashion advice from Zippy, folks. Never take your fashion advice from Daniel Zippy Salmon.
I'll have you know, I'm wearing a Lima Racing t-shirt right now.
I rest my case.
Nothing wrong with Lima Racing. You should see their real life radical. But indeed, I believe we're going to bring this show to a close. I'm looking at Rob to read the production chat as well, because I've got an absolute belter of a close built up. I just need him to say yes that I can do it. I'm not going to tell him what it is. Okay, he said go for it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to be responsible for what happens next, but you've been watching and indeed listening to the oral talents here of myself, Daniel Zippy Salmon, and indeed Richard Swindells, Rob the Goatee Campbell in the production booth, and thank you very much for joining us here for Throttle Freaks GT3 League live at Shell V-Power Motorsport Park, or indeed the Bend. We're going to be heading to Monza Combined for next week. I do plan on making a return, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll have me, and indeed we'll all be back here for the Races Nexus team, but make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'd certainly love to see it here, getting shared with your family, indeed seeing you guys on the big screen as well. But thank you very much for watching, and we will see you at the same time next week.
Hey, good night, folks.